have defeated them.
Precisely.
So at the end of the day, it's about competing in good spirit, competing to uplift yourself, give a good name to your school and to your country. Any violent behavior is uncalled for. And I think this is where, when my colleague comes in, the PTA chair, will also emphasize. Because it's not only the teachers or the students involved or that we require their support. Parents have a big role to play. And I don't want to preempt what my colleague will say, but I think we are in this all together. Right? Parents, I know, are proud of their children and will not want to see them engage in uncalled for behavior. Teachers alike have a similar sentiment. Teachers have worked day in and day out to ensure that their students become the best. And I think for that reason alone, when such events occur, they must always remember that they owe it to their school, they owe it to their family, they owe it to their parents, and they owe it to this nation, and must compete in good spirit and avoid any violent behavior.
Okay. Jerga and Cham spoke about activities organized after the event, like the pool party, these location parties. What's your advice to students as far as?
For that one, I think even if those parties are to be held, I think it must be organized. It must be under the supervision of teachers. They must not be left alone, and they must be well guided. And in fact, they can further go and develop guidelines to ensure that everybody complies and it is properly monitored and supervised.
So when it's not under the supervision of the teachers, then it is?
I think if they are not supervised, they may take things out of proportion. Because children are children. They may be so agitated, they may be over happy in such a way that they may not even realize what the consequences may be. So they need guidance and they need support. They need proper monitoring, they need proper supervision. And again, parents also have a big role to play. When they are going out, make sure that you counsel them. Tell them that you are going out and you owe it to the family to make sure that you don't do anything that is uncalled for. We have our traditions, we have our culture, we have our norms and values. And this, I guess, we all cherish.
Okay. And
every parent wouldn't want your child or your ward to do something that society will look bad upon.
Okay.
And I think parents, again, I would emphasize, really need to come together with schools, to ensure that such events are well organized, trouble-free, and children enjoy themselves.
Okay, later in the panel, we'll welcome the parents here to talk on that. Jarga, I saw you with a flyer. What's a flyer saying about activities organized by students after the
it's just this. I suppose you may even give us time, to discuss about this.
Yeah.
Because this is just an example. And then the problem with this is this: we're receiving some concerns from school authorities that they are not part of the organizers of this in most cases, and their school names have been mentioned. Like someone else from the street or just someone from anywhere wants to organize a program and use the name of school so and so and so is part of it, when the school is never aware, when the school is never informed about it. So this is becoming a cause for concern, and the school principals are really not happy with this. And I think, in my view, this even calls for an issue of a civil. This is a civic liability, and this offense is punishable in the eyes of the law, because you cannot just sit somewhere else, have your program, fundraising, programs, fundraising mechanisms, and use people's name that are not informed. We are not saying anybody should not organize programs, but like Mr. Mbenga said, the PO, it must be, most especially when school children are involved, it must be under the supervision of their school authorities and their school teachers. Otherwise, like he said, no one knows what happened there, because no one is there to supervise them. And we know students are just students. And this is really growing. in our view, we've got a lot of issues the last time, like the hunting, he said, the last year's passing out. There were groups that organized a lot of hunting, and they made a lot of noise, in the streets, and there was traffic hold up. And when we were called upon to be there, when we reached there, we've witnessed a lot of issues that are very critical, in the present, because groups will be there with their cutlasses, some of them will be there with knives, and you don't know what happens. In the event violence erupts, who knows what will happen. So these are things that we really want students to desist from, and take priority of their education, because at the end of the day, it is really what counts for, and it is what will benefit them and benefit the nation as well.
Mr. Benga, as a principal education officer, are you getting securities aware of these matters?
Which matters specifically?
Like what Mr. Jarga has just mentioned about the hunting, along with cutlasses, and in case violence erupts, anything could happen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mendy. In fact, most of the time when these things happen, we also just know as everybody else.
Yes, sir.
No permission is sought. The regional director is never contacted.
Yes.
They do not even have the courtesy to come and sit down and discuss matters. Not only with the directorate, but even you can hear Jarga saying that even the head teachers are not aware of. In fact, last night I had a program which is to be stayed, I think, at Bundung Lower Basic, something like that, right? And I'm pretty sure that the head teacher do not know. The regional office has never been contacted. In fact, this has been happening over the years. Some people will call themselves crazy DJ names, with some very unpleasant pictures, I don't think what kind of behavior they are trying to inculcate in our children. But I think this society has a big role, the wider society, right? And I think the security also can help us nip the bud.
Okay.
Because when such things are happen, and there are guidelines regarding organizing programs, I think the security must ensure that they also play their part.
Okay.
Ensure whether the required permission is sought and obtained, right, prior to organizing such programs.
Okay.
And I think the head teachers should also be very alert.
Okay.
Who comes to their schools to organize programs.
Okay.
They own their schools. They have the keys to their classrooms, keys to their halls, or whatever. So they must not allow them to operate there if they don't seek the right permission required.
Okay, just hold on. This flyer advertises programs or activities held after the normal athletic sports. And these programs are hosted by either individuals or institutions. What's your advice to those individuals or institutions?
I think that's what I've just said. Let them take the right channel. Let them inform the right authorities, be it the education personnel, be it the security personnel. And I hope that will be the benefit of everybody.
Okay.
Right? They cannot just jump, to my mind, organize things at liberty without following due process.
Okay. Do you have a word to add on that?
Exactly so, Mr. Mendy. This is a cause of concern. The secondary school sports is saying here that they will not be and will never be part of any group organizing social events after any sporting event organized by secondary school sports, and neither associate themselves with schools that have these events. Mr. Gay has said, Jarga has said it all. These are a group of people who will make money. It's a commercial event, but they will use these names of schools, which is not right. I think schools now, heads of schools should take those people responsible to book. Say, why do you have to use my name with your program? You did not consult me. You don't do anything else. As Mr. Mende was saying, that they are not coming seeking permission with the basic authorities. So authorities are needed to organize anything, particularly when we talk about parties or whatever after school. Yeah, we've seen that parties. We used to have our own school parties at school actually, but we will have the head, we'll have the teachers, everybody with us, and we are well guided. After the party, we go home. I think such things like that, if at all it was really